Hi, Tom Thomas again, the Frugal Fly Tyer. This is part 2 of episode 5, our 3-part series related to tips and hacks. Today's episode, or part, will be related to the vise. There's some really neat things we can do to our vise, taking our $20 vise I got from Cabela's, which you guys know I love, and add some things to it you'd find in much higher priced vises. So let's get started talking about the vise.
You can add a lot of features to a $20 vise that you would see in more expensive models. So get yourself some springs that have double loops on them from a hardware store. Curl that around the shank of your fly vise, and you can fasten it together with a zip tie or some wire. Rotate it back around, and now you have a spring where you can slide your tinsel, yarn, whatever, to hold it in place while you're working on your fly. A fly holder attached to your vise is just a really fun thing to have. Right after you make your fly, you can stick it in there, let the head cement dry. You don't have to worry about losing your fly laying around on your bench. So we all have some closed cell foam that we probably bought at a craft store. If it's thin, just cut it into some squares. I did mine 3 pieces thick and then cut that into a circle. Drill a hole in the middle that's smaller than the diameter of your vise shaft. And then if you want to sand it down a little bit, now would be the time to do it before you get your slits cut inside it. And then space the slits about 3/8 to a 1/2 inch apart from the edge going straight to the circle. This slide is just to demonstrate that there are a ton of alternative materials you can use. This one's a fatigue mat that I've had laying around. Worked real well. It's a little bit thicker than the previous one. For those of you that have listened to my previous videos, you know that I like the Cabela's $20 vise. It has really good clamping for small and big flies, and by changing the angle of the jaws, you can make it a rotary vise. So this particular section shows you how to make a thread holder for a rotary vise. Now the arm that's going to hold the thread is a pretty easy thing to get. Just get one of those hangers that have the cardboard bottom meant for hanging pants. Amazingly, the curve that's there is absolutely perfect for cradling the thread. So you have to do a little bit more bending, and you might want to adjust the height of the thread holder, but this works really well. This is the block that connects the thread wire arm to the shaft of the vise. You can see the clamshell around the vise that's used to slide it up and down and rotate it around the shaft of the vise to get it out of your way. At the front, I've got the adjustment screw to secure the thread wire holder. A better option would have been to use threaded inserts, but I didn't have those. I used a hardwood maple, and you can see there's a bolt going through the side of it. This prevents the block from splitting because of the stresses from the clamshell. A better option, if you had it, would be to use aluminum stock. It would make it smaller, and you could use tap threads into the front and one side of the clam. This is the hardware that I had laying around to build this with. I put it all together and I tied a couple flies, large fly, small fly, made various adjustments. It works really well. The following slide is a diagram with some of the dimensions and hole locations, but yours may vary based on what hardware you have laying around.